a friend for free. Give them your camera. Give them your phone. Have them capture those things.
Right.
So that you can be, where you're supposed to be and doing the job you're supposed to be doing without having those distractions. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Social Vibes Podcast. Today, we have a guest with us here at the studio in person. This is the second in-person guest. We had Chris Burke on the first one, but we have Abigail,
hello,
Panther City Media. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Man. Okay, well, I'm in the film industry. I'm also a musician and just overall a person who loves art.
I've been seeing you pick up the guitar a lot more online. What's that about?
So
for context, let me give context before I say it, because people are probably like, well, she says she's a musician. Well, she was doing, whenever I first met her, she showed me all the YouTube videos of her doing like music like years ago, like with groups of people, like all the time pretty much. It seems like every weekend you were doing music with people. Then it went to like, I guess you got busy with big boy jobs. And then recently I've been seeing a lot more of that content that was similar to like years ago.
Yeah. I'll say the biggest reason I shelved music, like I sold my electric guitar. That was also during COVID, so that was like rent money,
Yeah.
But yeah, I started my business at 20. I graduated at 20. COVID was when I was 20. So I felt a lot of pressure as far as focusing on my film career because it was more lucrative than
Can you
music
bring your
was.
mic down just a little bit?
Yeah.
People will be happy.
Okay.
Just like force it, because I broke that mic.
Okay.
And then go up like this a little bit more. Yeah. Just so that they can see you.
See my
there.
mouth.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Sorry. Continue.
You're fine. Yeah, I just found that film was more lucrative at the time for me as far as like paying bills. And I also got married at 20, so needed to have that, so, security being a freelancer. But yeah, so I kind of felt this, I really struggled with like work-life balance because I worked from home, especially during quarantine. I recently have found some tricks for that. It's AKA using a free clock-in app, even if it's for yourself. But anyway, so anytime I did music, I felt like I was avoiding responsibility of like editing or securing new clients and projects. And I shelved music for over 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5. And honestly, like I wasn't writing as much during that time either. And I craved that creativity. So yeah, I started doing it again.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so let's rewind the clock back.
Okay.
And let's go back to the first time that you had the idea to start where you are now, what you do now as your business, Panther City Media. Like, it doesn't even have to be that name, because I'm sure at the time you didn't even know. But when was that moment that you thought, I could pick up a camera and go film people and make a living off of that?
Oh man, so like before I had my business, like when I was a freelancer?
No, like whenever you even had the idea to begin creative work like that and make money from it. Like, when was that moment? What year was that? Where were you at in that moment?
I was 14 years old in 2014. Had a camera that my mom gifted me for my YouTube channel for the music covers I was doing. And I realized that it took really great photos at the time. It was a Canon Rebel T3i. Not so great photos anymore, but at the time it was pretty good. So yeah, I started doing like family sessions for my mom's friends and like cheerleading pictures for my friends, and would make a couple like $100 here and there. And then I was like, oh, is this like a real job? And that kind of like started this interest for using my passion for cinematography and photography as like a career.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so I kind of want to go ahead and segue into like the obvious. So we've talked about this before. We've done a video on the channel. I can actually probably link it above here of you talking about starting your business and how it was difficult being like a woman in the industry. Let's just like recap a little bit of that here and talk about that. So did you find challenges getting started off just from the fact of like you being a woman trying to start a film business? And what were those?
My challenges with being a woman in the film industry when I was a freelancer specifically, so before I had a formed LLC, a lot of times was that I was young, so I was not even 20 yet. So anytime I walked onto a film set or like a video commercial shoot, I was always assumed to be the least least experienced individual, and so I oftentimes would get tasked with responsibilities that were way below the pay grade.
Yeah.
Even so much so that I would get lied to. I would try to have contracts. People would be like, "No, this is like a small project. We don't need a contract for this, like whatever." And so I would do jobs, film things on their SD cards, and then never get paid for it.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so I got burned very quickly with being a female young freelancer. And I kind of had to thicken my skin a little bit and grow a backbone. Mm-hmm. So now if you don't sign a contract, red flag. You're doing business sketchy or something is wrong. It's just very not trustworthy of a person to lay out expectations with what's being asked on paper. Like, you should want to do that. So there's no unmet expectations. So those were some of the biggest challenges that I experienced early on in my career.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. And so that was all here, right?
Yep. Dallas, Fort Worth.
And they don't know, but you've been here your whole life.
Yeah, I grew up in Arlington.
Oh, wait. Mm-hmm. Did I know that?
I don't know.
I think I just always thought you were from Fort Worth.
No, I moved to Fort Worth when I was 18. Yep.
Wait, how old are you now?
24.
Young. Wait, you just turned 24.
Mm-hmm. In June, yeah.
2 weeks ago?
In June.
Oh, wait.
It's August.
Oh. Wow.
2 months ago.
Hey, I got a baby.
I know.
And so
Yeah. Oops.
I have a postpartum brain.
Whatever.
She's looking at my wife over here like, oh, really? You have something from leftover from pregnancy. Okay. So what are you doing now with business? Is it like, what type of content are you working on? You got any cool projects currently that you're in or coming up? Like, what's going on?
So I found this sweet spot or rather, I have been blessed to find this sweet spot. I feel like it found me. The Lord has used me in the pro-life space throughout my career. Even when I was 18 in film school, was freelancing, but also contracting for like other production companies. I still somehow was always involved with like Christian nonprofits. Mm-hmm. Never foresaw that being like a specialty of mine. Until I kept being passed around this circle of like this network of Christian nonprofits all over the United States. So it's been really cool because that's like, I align with that, my beliefs. So it's been unique to like storytell that way with like testimonial videos and podcasts that I've produced, training videos, digital courses, stuff like that. So like, a lot of studio content, like long form content, has kind of been like my sweet spot. Like I love being at the studio. I love having a plan, and I love organizing everything. I'm a producer for most of my stuff, and director. But cool projects I'm working on right now. I'm writing for the first time a feature film script. So that's crazy.
So wait, feature means like, basically, doesn't that mean like amount of time?
A feature?
Yeah. So like, what time is that?
It's typically it's 90 minutes. I feel like to like 120 would be really long, but 90 pages essentially.
120?
120 is really long for a script. Usually 90 is the goal for a feature, and that's what we're trying to hit.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you kind of can you share anything about what it is?
About the script?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Or the ideas that you have.
Well, so it's very much influenced by my life story. My family experience growing up. But it's a faith-based film based on just God's grace. And and redemption through family healing, family wounds, and reconciliation between family members. So kind of writing the ending I want to see happen for my family. But yeah.
You've written before though, right? Like little things here and there. Because I remember you told me one idea that was really, really good. And I'm like, we need to film that.
Yeah. So when I kind of shelved music, I was 18. That's when I was writing music a lot. And I did write a short film synopsis. And that was the last time that I had written a screenplay. That was 2018. It's 2023 now. So
dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I started competing. Let me see. So that was kind of my professional segue, I think, into doing it like and making more money, because at the time I think I started with like shooting. Yeah. Okay. Let me think. So I want to say I started in a creative space shooting senior portraits with my iPhone.
Nice.
Because that's the only camera we had. And I think I would charge like $30. And then the next year it was $80. And then after that, my church would do something called Fine Arts. And so then you could compete in film competitions.
Oh, that's cool.
So then that was the first time I shot like a pro video with my phone, because that's all I had. So shot the video with my phone, submitted that, got second place, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not
terrible.
I'm not terrible. Let me keep trying this. So then again, I want to say this is like around 7th, 8th grade at this point. So I don't even remember how old I was at that point. But then after that, started doing pro work. So shot my first wedding for $150.
Nice.
Which is ridiculous.
They got out with that one.
Shot the second wedding for $250, and they didn't like the video, so I refunded them.
Oh no. Dang.
And then I think after that it was, what did I do after that? Just little projects here and there, like became a, I guess, quote unquote freelancer, not even part-time, but under part-time. But what was your first project that you can think of that you done professionally?
Probably when I was 16, I photographed a wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How much did you make for that?
Probably like $700.
Dang.
I know. Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
You did better than me. So I talked to Chris about this too. I was like asking him what his first project was. Take a guess. And guess how much he made. Just take a guess of how much he made on his first project ever.
Probably like $100.
He made $2,500.
Oh, wow.
Right out the gate.
That's hilarious.
I know.
I want to see what the end product was.
It was really good. Apparently,
Okay.
the guy, he made it over 10 years ago, and he said that the guy like every time he sees him at family events or something, the guy's like, man, that video still brings me leads.
Oh my gosh.
And Chris is like, that
You're
video
like,
is so terrible.
You owe me royalties.
Yeah.
No. That's crazy.
Okay, so let's transition a little bit from that's the smallest. I like to do this with everybody. That's the smallest project that we've done. What's the biggest you've done? And
gosh,
wait, are you? Let me see. Are you? Because I know your business is a little bit different. Are you allowed to share how much you've made on a project? You can keep names out, obviously. And it doesn't have to be like we'll say like just gross. Like this project was this much, not counting taking out everybody's stuff.
Okay. I'd say probably the biggest like bid I ever sent was $30,000. That's for nonprofits. Like I really try to come way below asking price.
Yeah.
Because then I know that they're gonna book with me. But it's also for like reoccurring clients who I genuinely just want to be there and film for them, because I know that like these are productions I pray for, I pray over. They include real life testimonials of women who have overcome a lot of obstacles, and I find that really encouraging and enjoy giving. So yeah, that's typically like the threshold for like a 1-day studio shoot of all day.
Wait, so you're referring to that as like low compared to the industry?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because they have shared what they've previously paid and why they're going with me, because it's like $15,000 cheaper.
Oh, gotcha.
Mind you, my profit is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, everyone else is fed and I'm starving.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's like, okay, well, I know at some point that's going to have to change. It's just that hard transition period of like, with each year when reoccurring clients come back and they're expecting a certain price, but I know you're paying $4 more for eggs this year, and I know your gas price has gone up $1.30, so it's hard. I feel like a lot of people want our services to stay the same.
Yeah.
When it costs more for us to be in the studio, it costs more for us to buy gaff tape. Literally today, paid $20 for one roll. So stupid. But like everything's more expensive, or rents increase. So it's like, you just have to ask for more. What percentage that is, look for something fair. I mean, whatever, do the math. Like what's the increase you're paying on your groceries now? Like, charge the same increase. Don't go out of the water and be like, I've raised my prices $15,000 and it's the same product. Like, that's so not transparent,
So there are a lot of people, like a lot of friends, you know them, some of them you don't know, and they make fun of me for this because I don't calculate any of it. Like, I literally just
like throw a number out.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll charge you this much because it's whatever I feel like charging them. But I think it's because of I don't mind, which is a big difference between like me and most creators, and I think you too. Like, this is the same with Chris and all the other people as well. I don't mind taking the little jobs because I can knock them out super quick and efficient and still make the person happy, and then be able to say no to other stuff that I definitely don't want to do. That's going to be more stressful and more hands-on, if that makes sense. Or what I'm getting to now is completely outsourcing, taking more of the back seat to it. The only thing that I haven't figured out how to outsource this, I mean, I know how to outsource it, I just don't have anybody in the area yet, is like shooting, like finding a DP that's like my DP and just freelancing them out. I have the editing, I have like the planners, I have the photographers. I just need to find shooters in the area who are gonna like work, like start off working lower,
and build up.
Yeah. So like not too junior, because I tried that and it didn't work. But like somewhere in the middle, and I also realized that trying to do that too, one of the biggest issues is gear. Because like if a junior shows up with to a $20,000 shoot, $30,000 shoot with a A6400, like
that's tough.
So that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna build up an arsenal here to where like, hey, take this camera, and I'm not out of like, if I never got that camera back, I'm fine. I have everything else I need. I still have enough cameras to do that 2 more times and still be fine to do any shoot that I need and be covered. I mean, obviously, I have insurance.
Right.
PPA.
Sounds like you need to be in the wedding videography business, because that's when I was in the wedding videography business. There, like, I would show up and the photographer would be just a shooter of this like company that the bride and groom never met. I struggle personally with that model because I'm a people person, and I've even because I had hired shooters before, whether I got the opportunity to double book, or it was maybe a lower budget wedding and I just made a couple $100 by having a friend shoot it, me edit it. People want to see who they have met with and who they've hired, because that's who they've connected with. And so I found this like hard disconnect where there's this level of trust. And especially if it's not like the same person every time, which is always, because that was never my intention, was to be like that model. So like, it would just be a friend who was available. It wasn't like, no, this is my shooter. This is like, he's done all of these weddings. It was this weird, like, well, here's my portfolio, and like, he shot this one, but I edited. Like, it's just so hard when they like these layers start to peel back, and they're like, it's hard for them to trust you with that. But so I don't know, maybe don't do the wedding industry after all.
No, I think it would work. Here's why I think it would work, because people do this with me, and that's what made me think about it. There are many people who hire me as their DP, and they can DP.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, they have the gear, they have the knowledge of how to run the cameras, but like they're just trying to build a hands-off business. And so then, but the problem is, and I've talked about this with other people too, other like creatives, is there is a certain point to where like the creator does have to perform really well and be like really good with people. And so I think for like the people who hire me, that's why it works so well from them, because I know how to work with people.
Right.
Like if something doesn't go right, I'm not freaking out calling the person, like I'm figuring it out. I'll update the producer later, like with whatever happened, but it should be fine. But a lot of times when you have these junior guys, it's not that.
Right.
So you have to find the best like people to be in place, but who also work with you. So I think I feel like I have a few leads on those people through YouTube, because a lot of them are like like even today, a lot of them are like commenting like, hey, we should link up, you know, like I found you, I see that you were filming at Frisco Beach, like that's literally right down the street from me. I found your channel because I have this camera. And I'm like, oh,
interesting.
If you own this camera, you know, like that's what I have, obviously that's what I made a YouTube video on. Then like just assuming that we could work out some prices, like you would be a good DP to hire, because you already have the gear, you're already watching my videos. I have training courses to train shooters now.
Fair.
So now it would just be like basically pressing a button. But yeah, I'm not a people. I don't like the people's part of like what you say you like. I don't want to.
Yeah, like the relational aspect.
No.
Yeah, like I want to be, because I feel like this is something I lacked when I was early in my film career, was like the investment from others. Like I didn't feel like coached by anyone necessarily. Yeah, I just oftentimes felt like if she can do the bare minimum, then like we're good. As opposed to like, no, she is capable of more. She's interested in more. Let's push her and see what happens. So I feel like my desire for Panther, and this may change, but is to build up other freelancers to provide a steady income for other families, all through making film. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's definitely my goal. So like with Social Vibes, like the goal is to help content creators grow in their skill set so that they can make high quality videos and make them money. That's my mission statement.
Good pitch.
Do what?
I was gonna say, it sounds like an elevator pitch. It was good.
Well, let me just tell you that elevator pitch costs $1,500.
No. I know you're on AI. Create an elevator pitch.
No, I got a coach who literally like helped me figure this out.
Your AI is not your coach? No, I'm just kidding.
I do have an AI coach. It's through what is it? VidIQ? Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to fire him now because my in-person coach is better.
Yeah, of course, a real human. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like the way I think, and I want to hear like as I'm about to say what I'm saying, also be thinking about the ways that like you complete that sentence and like you have action behind it. Like what are some of the things you're doing or ways that you set up your business? Like for me, I try to provide as much value for free to people as I can online to help them, you know, go from making $500 for a video business card to making $5,000, $2,000 for a video business card, which is where like a lot of me and my friends are now, because whenever we started doing that, we literally didn't there was no resources. You had to go buy somebody's course for $900.
Yikes.
And like that's not always tangible, that's not always affordable it's just not for a junior creator.
Right.
So that's why I want to bring professionals like you, like George, like other individuals, and just have these conversations for them to have that mind altering moment where they just say, oh, like, it's just as simple as, like, I already have the gear, I have the skills, or even I don't even need to be a skill to these people. It's just as simple as I'm charged this much, put it out there, see what they say, and, oh, they accepted it. Now, like, that's your baseline.
Yeah.
You know? And so being able to provide those different conversations to help give new insight, but also helping them with the gear, which is what I love.
I know, you're a gearhead. You help me with that, too. I'm like... my Mac is not doing this thing. And you're like, well, it's because of this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm an idiot. So
So I love the gear. That's where I kind of get my creator high. Okay. It's just with the gear. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like that would be easier too, like in the future, because I mean, it's already becoming easier. A lot of these brands are sending me this stuff to try out, which is amazing. So it won't be like an expense anymore eventually, like at all, I'm sure. But anyways, so that part too, but helping creators figure out what's best so they don't waste money on gear. I want to dive into like some of the legal stuff too. So getting someone like who's like, and I know someone now that I'm thinking about it, your sister maybe, but getting like a lawyer on, I'm talking to my wife.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and talking through like contracts, like as creators.
I would love to listen
different
to that
ways.
episode.
Yeah, and, you know, I have someone else too. I was just talking to. She's a CFO, so chief finance operator of like a business. They're probably doing like, I don't know, like 10 mil a year. And like I was talking to her about, hey, look, I have these pool of creators that I'm working with, and I'm looking into going into business with them and like helping them like go from where they are now to like mega creators. I mean, they're already big creators, and she already was like, yeah, you need to set up this type of bank account, you need to do this type of agreement, you need to make sure that the AdSense from the YouTube videos are going here, you need to make sure that the sponsor deals are going here, so that whenever it goes here, it splits this way. And I'm like, okay, yep, when do you want to jump on a podcast? Yeah, right. When do you want to do this? And she's like, I'll do it anytime.
Nice.
Having those types of people, these are conversations that cost. These are conversations that literally cost you $600 an hour.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
And that's the type of value that I'm trying to provide to creators to help accomplish my mission goal.
Right.
The floor is yours.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I guess I'll reiterate the question, which is what are ways that I am helping or striving towards my goal of like helping build up other freelancers? I would say, which I hate the term coach. I hate the term mentor because it's all so clickbait right now. And that's a lot of people. I feel like there's some very disingenuous coach courses out there. And like a lot of people front that they're this level of success, but their success comes from people paying them for coaching rather than them being sustainable without the coaching. Anyways, I see right through it. But I would say I've like had this unique opportunity with my LLC being like not my name, being Panther City Media LLC, that people contact me trying to get a job all the time. Like, hey, I'm fresh out of school, or hey, I'm in school in Fort Worth and I want set experience and yada, yada, yada. Here's my resume all the time. And it's been cool because I'm like, okay, let's get coffee. That's always my first step is like, or do you like coffee? No? Okay, we can't be friends. No, just kidding. I do have a friend who does not like coffee. It blows my mind. But
that
somehow...
friend is not me, clearly.
No, it is not. Yeah, we both have our cups. But yeah, so I'll like first step is just introduce myself to them, be totally transparent, be like, I'm a one-man band until the client has a budget big enough for me to hire my favorite contractors.
Yeah.
That's how I work, you know? And that keeps overhead costs very low.
Yeah.
While I'd like to get to the point eventually of having a full-time team, of course, that's the goal. But that takes...
Full-time editor.
Oh, for sure.
Or freelance editor. We talked about this.
Yeah. We'll get back to that later. Yeah, so coffee. I think genuine face-to-face meetings with people means so much for the person who sent their resume to a production company, because I've been that person. I've walked through the brick and mortar, tried to shake a hand, and have heard nothing. Like after having paid like $20 to have my portfolio printed professionally and give it to them. And I know it's like going in the trash or never being touched.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, I won't go into it. But there are some local companies who don't care. Or they just don't have the resources to teach or to have shadows, like have people just gain experience by being on set. So typically I'll do a coffee meeting and then I'll be like, so what are you interested in? What do you know about the film industry? Because like when I first started, I didn't know I wanted to be a producer, but I had to try everything else to be like, oh, so that's what a producer does. I really am good at that. Because while I say I'm a producer, I'm also a cinematographer. I'm also an editor. I'm also doing all the contracts and everything. So it's like, but I like to produce and direct. That's my my love. If I could just be hired for that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so typically after the coffee meeting, if they're like local or they're staying local, I'll like invite them on a production that I have, and whether I hand them my camera and I'm like, have fun, don't break it.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's people's first experience using like a real cinema camera. They've never got to play around with it without there being like a deliverable needed, you know?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but like what you're referring to, and I'm just saying this because I've been on the set, is you're saying like she invites these people for free to come onto set, and then they're shooting BTS with these nicer cameras.
Yeah, sometimes they'll be BTS. Sometimes they'll literally just be a fly on the wall.
Oh, really? Like at the coffee shop type thing?
No. So, like, for example, I had a larger production shoot a couple weeks ago. Met a guy who reached out to me on Instagram like 5 months ago. And then...
wait, I know who you're talking about, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. He pitched himself as an animator, which is why I was interested, because I don't know a lot of animators.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't like to do. And so eventually I was like, well, let's get coffee. So we got coffee. Super sweet, genuine guy. Was like, I want you to meet my girlfriend. You remind me so much of her. And I was like, great. Come on set on Saturday. Like, what are y'all doing? So they came on set and they ended up being actors for us. And they were like, this is so cool. Like, they just got to be on set, and we threw them into the action, and they were like, cool. And they got to see all different types of production roles. And so I want to be a resource for people to be challenged and to learn. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks. One good takeaway that you had that I wanted to make sure to like reiterate is you said that, and this is good for new creators, she said that the way that she found what she loved and what she was passionate about was trying a bunch of different things first and then seeing what she liked. I think a lot of people come straight out of high school and they're like, most people coming out of high school as a creator and they want to get into like the actual film industry, they all, pretty much all of them are like director. It's not very likely that you're going to be a director.
A good director is someone who has, I mean, not that you can't be a good director without having this experience, but I find a good director has been in the camera's position, has been in scripty position, has been in crafty position, like has fulfilled all of these different roles.
Yep.
Because then they can resonate and relate and understand what it means to be crafty, scripty, whatever it might be.
Like if a director needs to be take the camera over to show the DP how to shoot, like the director has to be capable to do that and know what to do in that moment. And so if you don't have that experience, so I think like get out there, try as many positions as you can, go on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, and look at these film groups and say, answer, hey, I think the easiest way to get in, by the way, with these bigger people too, is to just go on as a free actor. Like they're always looking for actors. And so like that's
fair.
Yeah. So if you can just get your foot in the door, if you've never been on a big set and you're like, I want to get on the set, because honestly, the truth is like some of these bigger names, like the one you mentioned, they're not going to let anyone just come on set like you're doing.
I'm not an actor. I don't pretend to be.
Yeah.
Unless you make me be one, which you did that one time.
I got to be careful because I almost mentioned their name. But that's how we got on the set.
That's fair. Yeah, we were both actors.
We were actors.
That was weird. And we were like, this is weird.
Yeah.
We don't act.
Yeah.
But we acted that day.
Yeah. And so imagine if we were newbies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair.
Like being able to get on a set that big with like.
That was fun.
In one of the, more expensive studios in Fort Worth, like those are experiences that you don't, like you would never go from, high school, college graduate to directly being like on set like that, like and paid most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think just trying to get your foot in the door anyway, I think starting off as a grip, a lot of people think, like that's a job that gets belittled a lot, when in actuality, like every job on set, unless you just have like a tremendous budget and you're just spending money that you don't need to spend, which I do know people who've done that.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that, every person who's there needs to be there.
Agreed. Yeah.
And like they're important. So don't feel bad that you went on set for a grip, for like I don't know, $20 an hour, $25 an hour. Like, because eventually you're going to learn so much and it's not going to be that much anymore. Eventually it's going to be $50 an hour. Eventually it's going to be $150 an hour. You don't know.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, yes, I own a production company. Yes, I have like reoccurring clients, but I love being in different parts of the industry. Like, I might have this like niche Christian nonprofit side of my business, but I'm also in the movie industry, and I keep getting hired as script supervisor, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm grateful. I guess it's because I love organization. I have the producer mindset in me. But it's funny because, like, that's how I've stepped into the movie side, which I didn't have an interest in that for over 5 years. Yeah. Long story short, I saw it at 18. I felt literally invisible on set. I was physically sick after the production. It was a 3-day production. Had like 2 hours of sleep each night. It was terrible. But it makes me so much respect and appreciate true filmmakers who give a care about your well-being. Yeah. Having the 12-hour rule, even if you're non-union. Like, I'm non-union. And I'm like, no, we're not going to work again for another 12 hours once we wrap. Like, no. You need to eat. You need to sleep. You need to be rested if we want to have a successful set. So, but because I've been like scripty on much bigger productions than what I'm doing with my company, these people hear me say, I'm a producer, I'm a director, I'm writing a script. And they're hearing, oh, we like her as scripty. We'll probably like her as producer too. You know, so it's this good segue of just truly networking. Like, do I enjoy scripty? No. Does it stress me out? Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I would even say if you're in any position and you have behind the scenes content and you post that, it doesn't matter what position you were in. Right. People are just going to see on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok that you were on a huge set, and that's enough to like make them say, hey, you know, like this literally just happened like yesterday to a friend of mine. He was like, I haven't been posting consistently, or I've been posting content that's not really what I want to do, but it's been making me money. So now, but I want to get back to doing the content that I like to do, which is like, you know,
post
film.
What you want to do.
Yeah. He posted what he wanted to do. Like he posted a clip from this podcast talking about how much he's made on a big production. Like I just actually, he said literally somebody like messaged him right after who liked the post and said, hey man, like I've been meaning to message you about video. We need to connect soon.
Heck yeah.
That happens all the time.
That's awesome.
And if you're able to do that and still not make a lot of, like if you're not making money on set, again, if you're getting started, being able to have that behind the scenes footage, like bring a friend for free. You know,
if they allow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, if they allow.
Because a lot of those sets are NDAs, but.
Bring a friend for free. Give them a camera, your camera. Give them your phone. Have them capture those things.
Right.
So that you can be, you know, where you're supposed to be and doing the job you're supposed to be doing without having those distractions.
Right.
To just be able to really show what you're capable of.
Right.
That you're able to function in an environment like this and complete a job of any sort.
I have a picture reference in my mind of me having been scripty on a set like last month. There were goats on set and I got to feed a goat, and I just literally handed my phone to a crew member. I was like, take a picture of this. And that's the one I posted. Like, it wasn't me like pretending to touch the camera. It was like, no, I'm feeding a goat. Look at me, mom and dad. I'm so like, this is so cool.
That's so awesome.
But like in the background, there's these huge cameras, and I'm like, this is fun. Like I got to feed a goat today and her name was Chaos. So like have fun with all of that too. Like especially the movie side of the industry, terrible long hours, not great, you know, well-being wise. I'm grateful to have commercial as well and these nonprofit stuff. So I'm not always having to be in the movie side of things. But I do truly enjoy the like team camaraderie it is, because, you know, if you're with people for more than like 3 days, you start to make friendships and bonds. And it's really cool now working on other sets locally in the movie industry in Fort Worth that I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like, how have you been? You know? It's
and even
fun.
being here for the short amount of time that I have, which I guess I've been on a ton of sets now like around here. I've never been on sets before, but like I have that experience. Yeah. Like it really is like no matter where you are, no matter how big it is, whether you're in New York City with all the skyscrapers and all the famous people, or you're in LA, like whenever you're in, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I don't really, if someone needs behind the scenes content for like their film sets, I really don't know who any of the people I worked with before would hit up other than me. Once you're in and you're that person's person and you continue to produce a good job.
Yes.
Like,
be a likable person and you will get hired again.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so closing.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to aspiring creators? Do you have a message for them? Do you have anything you want to say? And then end it with where they can go find you online, where you,
My biggest encouragement to people new in the industry or wanting to try the film industry out is do not believe in the hierarchy. The film industry can be very intimidating coming from a new perspective. No one is more valuable than you. You are just as valuable as the DP. You are just as valuable as the director. Don't allow yourself to put yourself on a low on the totem pole because you think you're inexperienced. You're a human, you're capable of working, and you're capable of learning, and you have intrinsic value.
Yeah. That's so good.
Thank you. Because I had to learn that because I felt invisible on set at 18. I was there to do BTS, and I was being tasked production assistant roles, and people were looking to me. I had a camera on my hip, carrying this huge tub, and I'm like, this isn't my job.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't feel the power to say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so then my other job was lacking, the one I got hired to do.
Yeah.
So you have the right to say no. My Instagram is Panther City Media.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My personal is Abigail's Journal.
That just made me think, by the way, I do want to say this before we close it out, is you said, you know, what did you say about being behind the, you said you were being on a set, shooting behind the scenes. What were you saying? Say that again.
I was on set doing behind the scenes.
Because that's what you were hired
that was what I was hired to do. And I was being tasked with other stuff that was not my job, that I didn't have experience in, which is great to have and gain experience. But like, I wasn't getting credit for PA.
Yeah.
So why am I doing PA stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
So just to tell you guys how much these positions don't matter, I've been on multiple sets where I've been hired to do behind the scenes content because I'm good at it. And I made more than a DP.
Yeah.
Of the actual set.
Really?
Yes, multiple times. And so that's it doesn't matter. These positions don't matter.
Right.
If you're valuable and if you present a product that's valuable to someone else, whether it's their client, whether it's the production company itself, whether it's the production overall, like you should be compensated, and you should make sure you're compensated for that. And you shouldn't feel bad that your position isn't the director, that your position isn't the DP, that your position isn't the person that everyone sees. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Truly doesn't matter. Thank you guys for tuning in to this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by no one. Not sponsored. The cup's here, and I wanted to say it earlier because it looks like it may be sponsored by Merit or this company. I don't even know who they are. Or Panther City Media. She's not sponsoring it.
I didn't pay for anything. Hey, I offered to buy you coffee.
Yeah, you did. But if there is someone who would like to sponsor this, then you know where to go. There's an email in the description to do so. But until next time, if you guys are interested in listening to some other creators and how they've made an income from being creative online, you can check out this playlist right over here. Can you tell them to click on it?
Click it.
They're not clicking it yet. Guys, come on.
Just click it.
Do I need to wait?
Just click it. Click it.
It's right here. All right, peace. See you guys in the next one.